Bulletcast for life.
Ladies and gentlemen, my guest at this time is the current reigning, defending, undisputed Global Syndicate Wrestling Next Gen Champion, Gio Galvano. Gio, how you doing today, man?
Philip, thank you for the awesome intro, man. It's great to be here on the Bulletcast. I'm doing fantastic, and yeah, man, I'm excited. Excited for the episode. Excited to tell you what's going on in the world of Gio Galvano.
Hey, let's get right into it, man. So, I didn't discover who you were until GSW started popping up, and I had Brandon Ascari, the one of the co-founders and promoter, and he dropped your name. He dropped a couple guys' names about high voltage. We're gonna get into all that. So I'm like, what? And so I started looking you up, and I'm like, yo, this guy's nice.
Appreciate it, man. Yeah, I think I came in, I floated in under the radar a little bit, and thankfully companies like GSW have given me a platform to showcase what I can do and the hard work I've been putting in. I've been training in the business for almost 4 years, and it's really blown up this past year. I know we had a pandemic over the past year, but that meant nothing in terms of the opportunities that I've gotten, dude. Like it's been an incredible year. I've got to work with GSW, got to work with Northeast Wrestling, got Invictus Pro Wrestling also started up here in the Northeast, and I got opportunity with Impact. So I've been all over the place, and I'm continuing to get my name out there, man. So I appreciate it, dude.
Hey, man, we're gonna get into all of that. So let's start from the beginning. You discover wrestling by buying a video game. You know, back when like Hollywood Video and Blockbuster was a thing. You and your brother were like,
Yeah,
oh,
man.
we don't,
Video
we,
shows.
yeah, we're like, oh, we don't have a fighting game. So you get, what was it? Just Bring It, if I'm correct, right?
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
You
I've
get
told the
just,
story on a couple other shows, and I know you've heard it. And yeah, dude, that was our first game. I was 8 years old when I picked that up.
yeah. I mean, most people like you find it on TV and then you start playing, but you did the opposite. You flip flopped it.
I did it backwards, which made for a great moment when me and my brother saw the wrestlers from the video game on our TV screen when we turned on SmackDown just by flicking through the channels one day. And so when we saw the same dudes from the game, we were hooked. Like, this is what it's all about right here. We were pumped.
That's what's up, man. So you get the game. You and your brother start playing, and you said you were Prince Albert. That was the first guy you chose to play with.
Yeah, man, I was the first guy.
That's
First
crazy.
guy.
That's crazy, man. So and then you guys find it on TV, and what was it that captivated you? Was it the athleticism? Was it the over the top personalities? Was it the in ring work? What was it?
Great question, dude. Honestly, the athleticism was a huge part of it. Seeing guys hit the ropes and smashing into each other and jumping off the ropes and all these different suplexes. It was just like it captivated me just to see guys doing all this crazy athletic stuff and all the different types of characters that are doing it too. Because when you turn on a professional wrestling show and you see all these different looking people and you just wonder, oh, what are they going to bring to the table? So it just captivated us from a character standpoint and from the athletics standpoint, like you said.
Wow, man. So I mean, growing up, you were an athlete. You were a soccer player. You actually had a little bit of a pro career.
Did, man. I got to play. I have 3 pro games under my belt.
There,
So
there you
yeah,
go.
over in Italy.
I
Yeah,
think
dude. So
I think you're the first
what's up?
professional um soccer player to transition into wrestling, to pro wrestling.
There's not many. I mean, I can name one. There was and he made it to the top level, top of the top. He was a goalkeeper for the German national team about 10 years ago. His name is Tim Wiese, and he actually got picked up by WWE, and he was at the Performance Center for a little while. Yeah, after he retired from playing goalkeeper, he put on a lot of muscle, a lot of size, and then is actually a clip of it. You can find it online if you type in Tim. His last name is Wiese, Visa, and dude, there's a clip. He's at some WWE live show in Germany, and he comes out and he beats up on oh man, I think the New Day was involved, I'm blanking right now. I think the New Day was involved, but I mean, that's the guy he was playing with Germany, and he was one of the most famous keepers over there in Europe. So he transitioned, but I haven't heard of him the past couple of years. But he was at the Performance Center, and yeah, dude, it's definitely a sport that there's not much crossover action going on with these two sports.
Absolutely, man. So, I mean, you're playing pro soccer. You know, you got 3 games under your belt, like you said. Why'd you stop? What went on?
I to be honest, man, I was I got to the point where I wasn't enjoying it, and it really felt like work more I wasn't finding the joy that I used to find in it. So I knew I needed to take a step back. So I came back from Italy, and I spent time with the family, spent time getting my associate's degree at school, and also working in the family business. My family owned a restaurant at the time, so I was bartending, working over there. So, and in that time period, I was preparing for the wrestling ring. To be honest, man, I knew, and that was the thing. I knew deep down that I was going to wrestle one day. It was just a matter of when, and I knew that that was the time. So I spent 2 years putting on some good size, and just making my own living, making my own, having a job for the first time, like on a regular basis, and preparing for wrestling school. And then when the time was right, I was 22 years old, pulled the trigger on that, and I started training at Team 3D Academy in Danbury, Connecticut.
I know we're gonna talk about that, but I listened to you on Circle of Debate, and you were kicked out for wanting to pursue a career in wrestling.
Yeah, man, it's so I joined the school, and I eventually I had to come forth and tell my dad about what I was doing. So right after I joined the school, I had a conversation with him, and I explained to him, this is what I want to do. This is my dream since I was a kid. And he said, that's fine. You could do whatever you want, but you're not going to do it under my roof. So, you know, I had a girlfriend at the time. I moved in with her, uh, and it was a time where I had to transition and figure out, okay, what's the next step for me? And so then after that, I got a place in Connecticut because things changed. She went to school, and I got a place in Connecticut near the school. Stayed there for a few months, and then eventually my dad and I reconciled. He still hasn't totally accepted the wrestling thing, but that's besides the point. It's not getting in the way of our relationship anymore, which is great. But yeah, it was definitely a challenge right off the bat. A challenge, in my life, in my personal life and my wrestling life. That's a perfect example of them intertwining. And it was a good chance for me to step up to the plate and stand up for myself and just understand and make that pact to myself, Philip. All right, this is what I want to do. And no one's going to stop me. No matter what happens, I'm going to figure out a way to do this. So, and that's what happened. And I'm
That's
doing it.
that's awesome, man. You took a bet on yourself, and that's important. That's important 100% because we
And
don't really hear stories about like because normally the story is sorry, my phone went off. Normally the story is like, oh, my parents, they were cool with it, or they just said, if you want to do it, go do it. But we don't really hear stories about like, no, you're not gonna do that. So that's uncommon. So
it's yeah, I guess I mean I can't speak for everyone, but I can speak for everyone in the sense that um everyone has had someone, at least one person, tell them, "Oh, really? You're doing wrestling? What's that about? Why are you doing that?" Every performer in this business, every worker in this business probably has one person at least in their life who's kind of doubted them a little bit in it. But not take away from all the support that people have, because I can tell you right now, despite having my dad, who was a little bit of an obstacle in the beginning, I've been blessed with a lot of people who have supported me. So, it's just part of life. No matter what you do, there's going to be people who agree with it and people who have a different opinion. So it's just a matter of sticking with what you believe in and what you want to do.
so your mom, your brothers, the rest of the family was cool with it.
Yeah, they understood. They definitely understood, and they could see the drive, the determination to do it.
That's
So
awesome. That's awesome, man. So Team 3D, I mean, Bully Ray, Devon, Hall of Famers. Arguably the greatest tag team, or at least the most successful tag team of all time, hands down. What's that experience like? Is Bully Ray, is he really as intense as he is on TV, or what's up?
So one of the things with him is well, one of the big things is sometimes you don't know where the line is between like Bully Ray and who he is in real life. Like you just don't know where the line is. But I can speak for him as a teacher. He's an incredible teacher, incredible mentor. He gives us the foundation that we need to succeed in this business. I mean, he prepares us. He gives us that foundation so that we're ready for battle. We're ready for whatever comes our way. I mean, he's a straight shooter, straight talker, and he has no problem telling you what you need to work on and how to get there. So he's an incredible mentor, incredible teacher.
It's awesome, man. Did he hit you with the "Do you know who we are"? Did he hit you guys with that?
he throws out that accent. You hear that New York come out of him a lot.
Hey, that's what's up, man. I mean, to be under the tutelage of Bully Ray, and I assume Devon was there too, right?
Devon hasn't been at the school up here in the Northeast. He takes care of the Team 3D affiliate down in Florida.
I
I think it's
obviously.
renamed now. I think it's Devon Dudley Academy, something like that. But yeah, he's been in Florida training, and Bully Ray runs the affiliate up here in the Northeast.
That's what's up, man. I mean, to be under the tutelage, I think Bully Ray's I'm underrated as a singles guy because I mean, you look at the TNA run and whatnot, like just
Great run.
to be under the tutelage of that dude. That's what's up, man.
Very
So
lucky.
now, so now let's talk about your first match. You're doing some stuff with House of Hardcore. You go up to Canada with MCM, Mucho Chris Mojo, and you guys just like want to like try to set up the ring or set up some chairs or something, right?
Yeah.
And then Tommy Dreamer's like, "You guys got your gear. You're on first."
Yeah. It was like maybe 2 or 3 hours before the show. He's signing autographs and just went to go shake his hand. And he's like, "Oh, I didn't know you were going to be here, Gio. Chris, you guys got your gear? All right, great. You're on first." And boom, that was. And I told the story in another podcast. The funniest part about it was I wasn't prepared with my tan, so I came out there, Philip, whiter than Sheamus. But I was very lucky because the way Tommy set it up was he had the ring announcer say before my music hit that it was my first match. So the people before even seeing me come through, they were, oh my god, it's this kid's first match, and boom, they see me bust through the curtain, and so they were behind me from the get go. I was lucky.
So MCM, was it his first match also?
It was his second match. He had won a few months prior at a camp show. He started his training before me, so he advanced a little quicker, and yeah, it was his second match. So we were right there sharing that moment together.
So I assume you've done some training with Tommy Dreamer. What's that like?
Tommy, he's funny to have around. He definitely gets a lot of laughs out of us, and but he's also a straight shooter. He'll tell you like it is, and he offers his own twist on things. His own, we call it flavors of ice cream. Everyone's got their own flavor of ice cream. So Bubba might tell us to do one thing one way, and Tommy might say that's cool, but you guys, this also makes sense. You can do it like this. So it's a fresh perspective. It's someone who, yeah, he's worked all over the world for, I think, going on 4 decades, something like that. Like he's been working so long. I think he worked in the 80s, the 90s, the 2000s, the 2010s, something like that. Now the 20s. So the 90s, the 2000s, the 2010s, and now he's working in the 20s. So I mean, that's someone who's like his scope of the business, the way he sees things. He's seen it all. He's seen so much. So it's just another great perspective that we're lucky to have at our school.
Yeah, man. I mean, he's been in there with just about everyone.
Yeah,
From the
yeah.
RVDs to the Christians to the big shows. He's been in there and done the dance with everybody. I assume you're a huge ECW fan, given the fact that you've been learning from these two ECW legends.
I was. When I was 10 years old, my older brother, Jason, he gave me the Rise and Fall of ECW DVD because I had no idea what ECW was before that. It was 2005 when that DVD came out. When he passed it down to me, and he told me like, "Gee, wait till you see this. This is the real stuff right here." And so boom, I threw it on, and I just was like, I was mesmerized Sabu fly through tables, seeing these guys, just different style of wrestling. And also seeing guys that I've been watching on WWE for a few years, seeing them when they were younger, and oh wow, look how that person to be. So it was cool, man. I fell in love, and that was it was cool to fall in love with it as a 10-year-old kid at that time because that was when WWE started coming out with the one night stand shows and ordering
Y'all,
those pay-per-views as a kid, man. It was like, whoa, my mind was blown.
so you said you 2005, you're 10. So what are you born? 95?
Yeah, dude. Yeah, 95.
96. This is cool, dude.
Oh, look at that.
This is what's up. All right. We're
Yeah.
boys. We are boys. That is what's up, man. So, I mean, first match in Canada, that's pretty cool. Learning under Tommy Dreamer and Bully Ray, and then I guess for last couple of years you've been trying to start getting in your groove. The pandemic hits, but you start picking up bookings at Invictus Pro.
Yeah, that was my first booking after the pandemic hit. That was in September, and it was a show that we helped put together in on a farm. Actually, it was like this farm setting because of the restrictions at the time. We couldn't go indoors. So the promoter of Invictus, Alex Aceta, he found a spot in South Jersey that was on a farm, and we had about a little under 100 people there, and it was great to be back. Um, it was great to have a crowd there, and it was just yeah, it was awesome. It was an awesome experience. It was in making history too as Invictus's first ever show.
That's crazy. I just went to a show on Sunday. It was on a farm, and it was that company's first show. It's
Oh
crazy that you
yeah,
it's crazy that you just said that.
that's freaky, man.
Man. So
Yeah,
I mean, you're working in Invictus Pro. You're working New England wrestling, like you said. Uh,
northeast, northeast.
Northeast wrestling. You get a gig with Impact for a little bit.
Yeah, that was cool, man. That was actually a few weeks after that Invictus show in September. So this was October, and I got the invite to go to Nashville and be a part of the tapings for that month. And it was an amazing experience, Philip. It was really cool. That locker room over there, you could get the vibes right away. It's a good family oriented feel, and obviously great to be alongside those talented performers and to experience some real TV studio wrestling for the first time in my career. So it was great.
And so who are you getting advice from? Is it the Good Brothers? Is it Moose? Is Scott Demore pulling you aside, or what's going on?
I had the chance to talk to a lot of people, and just get to know some of them. Some of the talks were about wrestling. Some of the talks were about like Scott Demore. Oh, you're Italian. Where's your family from? He told me where his family was from. Stuff like that. Just getting to know people and it was cool to meet Ken Shamrock too because he was in the Hall of Fame that month. There was something going on with the Hall of Fame, and he was there and he was getting inducted and uh and it was great to meet him and just because that's an MMA and wrestling legend who I watched growing up and I looked up to growing up. So even guys like him, guys I never expect just out of nowhere, like holy smoke, there's Ken Shamrock. Hey Ken, how you doing? And then it was great to learn from everyone and get little pieces of advice here and there.
Yeah, man, it's great. It's nice to when you get to see like legends like that. You're like, holy smoke, that's so and so, and then they'll sit and talk to you for a little bit, and you get to learn little instances about the business. So that's cool, man.
Yeah.
So now we got to get to the meat of the interview. GSW Global Syndicate Wrestling. I found out about it like on social media. I was just scrolling through. I'm like, oh, what is this? Okay. And then Brandon, he comes on. We do our interview. He said there's gonna be a show for lesser known talent to kind of like get experience working in front of the camera and whatnot, and that comes out to be High Voltage. I'm the commentator for High Voltage. So you become the first ever Next Gen Champion, man. What's going through your mind like leading up to this? Because it's a battle royal, and then the last two are you and Anthony Gangone, if I'm not mistaken.
That's right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man. And then like you hit your the finish, the good game Beaumaye, and 1, 2, 3. We're the champ. How,
Yeah, dude. Big moment.
how's
Big moment, Philip.
how's that feel, dude?
First off, thank you for doing the commentary for that big moment, and thank you for that awesome commentary you've been doing. I love the intensity you bring to the table and the energy you bring to the table, man. Thank you.
Thanks, man. I made a joke to Brandon. I was like, "Hey, man, what I'll do like a match," and then he was like, "Hey, you want to do the whole show?" I'm like, "Oh, okay." So I mean, thank you
Yo,
thank you for the critique, man. I appreciate that. It's my pleasure to be on the call for. I think that's your first championship win, right?
yep, it is my first title, and it's cool that my first title is also the first championship reign in next gen history, GSW Next Gen history. You know what I'm saying? So
It's the
to
first
be the
champ.
person to bring that championship into the fold it was an honor. And yeah, dude, it was a big moment. Definitely like a moment where I soaked in, like, wow, this is happening right now in my career, nice and early, and the work is paying off. Just another example of how the work pays off, and the belief in yourself like pays off. Because I've always believed I'm going to find that success in this business, and to have that success start coming, it's like, oh, okay, this is the work is paying off. Keep going, keep going. So it's a great moment, soaked it in, and then the performer and the competitor in me is thinking, okay, all right, now what's next? What's the next challenge with this belt? How does Gio evolve with this belt? So
I mean, you've defended it. Because I tell people that when I talk about GSW, I'm like, so high voltage is kind of like their NXT is the best way to put it. It's not a demotion to anybody. It's just kind of the best way to put it to like the casual fan,
yeah,
etc. So
yeah.
I mean, but you're the champ of that. And Brandon said whoever the next gen champion is, they're guaranteed on a spot on one of the pay-per-views. And you were at Inception. You were in the triple threat. So what was that like to wrestle on pay-per-view?
Yeah, definitely on my way to the Monster Factory in South Jersey that day. I was driving down, and it was in my mind, like, okay, this is the first time I'm wrestling on a live stream. Or actually, no, it was my second time wrestling on a live stream, and yeah, it has the PPV name to it. So, but it's I wasn't psyching myself out or anything. It was just, okay, this is another day at the office. I'm ready for this, and it was a great experience. I really enjoyed working with Ricky Reyes and Smiley. They've been in the business a long time. So it's two more guys I can learn from. And yeah, to be a part of that night was cool because it was the first show I did indoors with a crowd since the pandemic. So to have it be also a pay-per-view at the same time, it added to that big fight feel of I think every match on that show had kind of that pay-per-view big match feel. So it was cool. It was a really good experience.
Yeah, man. I had some friends in the building, some other podcasters, and they were like, "Hey, man, that Geo dude is nice." I'm like, "I told you."
Yeah, you saw me right before them.
Yeah. So I mean, let's talk about high voltage. I mean, I know that you guys just did a live taping. You mixed it up with Hammerstone.
Yeah, I'm not going to give any spoilers, but
I mean that's cool. I mean the Hammerstone, he's the world champion, and you're
yep,
you're the next gen champion. It's kind of like the WWE champion, NXT champion, mixing it up. So I
yep.
mean, I've been a fan of Hammerstone for a couple years. I mean, he's a champion for one of the promotions out here. What's it like to be in the ring with that dude?
I mean, he's a superstar, and he walks and talks like a superstar, and he wrestles like one. He's a tough dude, and he's an intense dude. When that bell rings, so, but it was great. It was awesome, dude. Really, it was a pleasure and honor to work with him.
That's what's
Yeah.
up.
So, and all these listeners right now, like Philip's been talking about, he's talking about high voltage. Please, if you tune in on YouTube, you won't regret it. It's going to be we got some good stuff coming out over the next couple weeks. So stay tuned and you'll be able to see it right before Catalyst, which I'm sure we'll talk about in a few.
Yes. So I mean, high voltage, man. What are your thoughts about that roster? I mean, we got MCM, we got Wrecking Ball Legursky.
Mhm.
Uh, it's a nice solid roster.
It is. You mentioned Anthony Gangone before. There's another really good heel in the Brooklyn Outlaw, Donovan. Um,
Yes.
and I have there's a match. It's me and Super Nitro. Who we're going to take on Donovan and Gangone in a tag match on one of the high voltage episodes coming up. So, I mean, check that out because the crowd is involved. I mean, and to see Gangone and Donovan work in front of a crowd. They know how to get heat, and it's been a pleasure working with this talent. It really is. It's dynamic, diverse roster for sure.
Absolutely, man. I mean, we got Catalyst coming up this month on the 22nd. You're the champ. You're guaranteed a spot. So what? Well, who are you looking to mix it up with?
Stay tuned, and we'll see. It's I want to catapult myself somehow, some way into the main event picture. And you mentioned Hammerstone before. I called him out on Instagram, and you'll see what unfolds there. And then you'll see maybe some other names, some other main event names that were on the Inception card. You'll see him May 22nd, Fight TV on Catalyst, and tune in. You'll find out. You'll see who Gio's going in the ring with.
Hey, man, that show's about to be hot. You, Hammerstone, Fatu, Chris Dickinson, Davey Richards. He's coming out of retirement to lace him up. Come on, man. That show's about to be.
No. And then for
Shows,
GSW to get Austin Aries to come out and then to get Davey Richards, it's just a testament to I think what the talent and what the workers see in this promotion and the vision that GSW has, and people want to be a part of it. So I'm very blessed to be a part of it, and it's cool to see the hype is growing.
Yeah, man. I mean, you're starting to make a nice name for yourself with GSW, and I'm sure on the Jersey, New York independent scene with Invictus Pro and NEW, man. So what's next for you? You said you want to hit that main event level in GSW. I mean, I know they're looking to introduce some tag titles at some point in time, possibly later on in the year or next year. You want to win the Triple Crown? You want to be the first ever GSW Grand Slam champion? What are we doing?
I mean, yeah, dude, there's no limits, man. There's no ceiling to where I can go. And if I would love to get a Grand Slam championship and just continue to decorate myself. But it's one step at a time. And now, it's going to be a busy spring, busy summer. GSW, of course, we got the Catalyst show coming up in May. Invictus has a show coming up in June, and Northeast Wrestling, NEW, will be running a lot these upcoming next 3-4 months. There's going to be a lot of NEW stuff, a lot of big shows, working in some big stadiums in the area, some big baseball stadiums. So it's definitely going to be an exciting summer. It's going to be a hot summer for Gio Galvano. And but yeah, it's one step at a time. Definitely, I have my sights set on the next show and the next show after that, and it's just being as present as I can in the moment, and delivering, and giving the crowd, giving these wrestling fans who have stuck loyal to the product, who help pro wrestling keep going. I'm going to give them something that they're going to be entertained with, hopefully. So that's what I'm trying to do, Philip.
Hey, I love that, man. And Brandon, he did an interview. I forgot who it was with, but you were brought up because you're the next gen champion. He said there was a Shawn Michaels element to you, and I'm like, you know what? I see it like late rocker Shawn going into the Heartbreak Kid. I see that.
You guys aren't the first people to see that. I mean, I'm staying humble here because it's what an humbling comparison. But I mean, that's someone who, any worker in the business, you can watch Shawn Michaels and you can learn, okay, that's what pro wrestling's all about. So yeah, dude, I don't know. I mean, I'm not anyone to say. I'm Gio Galvano. That's who I am. That's who I wake up every day, and that's who I am. I'm Gio. But yeah, to get a little comparison here and there, it's cool. It's cool, dude. I really appreciate that. And yeah, I watched Shawn growing up, loved him. My brothers loved him, and yeah, man, it's cool. It's cool to learn from these guys too. To go back and watch these legends that I watched growing up as a performer now, and seeing, okay, what can I take from their game and apply it to Gio's game. So, yeah, man, I appreciate it.
Absolutely. So as we wind down, this is the rapid portion. This is the rapid fire portion of the interview. So, favorite wrestler of all time?
So if I had to choose one, I think I'd go Edge, probably.
Wearing an Edge shirt right now.
Oh, I didn't even see that.
What was it about the rated R superstar?
He was just like, when I was a kid, he was my guy. Right before he became Radar Superstar, he was my guy. So When he turned heel, it didn't matter to me. It did not matter. It's the young Giovanni. It didn't. I still loved him, stuck with him, stayed loyal, and to go. I think what takes him to my top guy is the fact that I watched him through that Cena run, and so because I didn't want Cena to get the title back then, and to see him keep winning and winning, and then boom, Edge cashes in the Money in the Bank. It was like, oh my god, it's a moment I'll never forget. So
You,
yeah, dude.
how'd you feel about his return last year at the Rumble?
I thought it was awesome, and to see him come back in that shape, it's a testament to it doesn't matter. Age is just a number, and I love guys who come in and prove that age is just a number, and it's great. It's great to have him back. Great to have him in the. I'm sure all those young guys in WWE to have Edge walking around and to pick his brain, get his advice. That's awesome. So everyone benefits with Edge around in the company.
Absolutely. Favorite tag team of all time? I assume the Dudleys.
Well, no, it's actually going to be Edge and Christian. On that note, because my brother liked Christian, my brother Vincenzo, he liked Christian, and I liked Edge, and those were our two guys. So we stuck together, and we loved them.
Hey man, that's what's up. Well, let's see you pop up on Dark or Elevation one time and wrestle Christian.
Oh, that would be something.
Never,
That would be something.
never say never, man.
No, never.
What's your favorite gimmick of all time? Like me, I'm a Razor Ramon guy. I love the gimmick. Do you love Gold Dust? You love Doink? You love Repo Man? You love Eugene? Like, what
Uh,
is it?
so I've talked about this wrestler on a lot of other podcasts I've done. I've talked about Sabu and how much I love Sabu, and the reason why he's my favorite gimmick of all time, Philip, is for the simple reason that no matter if he won or if he lost, he always damaged his opponent. It was all, I mean, no, the opponent never walked out of the ring, without something, without being damaged. So I think Sabu, there's just something about him when, especially early in that ECW run where he was coming out in the straight jacket and it was like this monster was about to get unleashed. And there's just something about that gimmick. It's like if no matter when he enters that ring, he's going to damage his opponent, then he has a chance of winning any match. So that dynamic, I think, makes it really exciting.
Absolutely. Favorite match of all time?
Um, so in 2015, my brothers and I, all my brothers, we got in the car, we drove to Philly, and we got to go to the Royal Rumble in Philly. This is the Royal Rumble that Roman Reigns won, the famous one. But right before that was the triple threat match for the WWE World Title, and it was Lesnar, Rollins, and Cena. And to be at the Wells Fargo Center that night and to watch that match go down, it was sick. That match sticks out to me.
Dude, man, that match was such a banger. I mean,
Right?
like Brock getting put through tables and Seth bouncing off of him, diving and
Yeah.
the knee out of nowhere to Brock's skull. Like it was
Yep.
it was it was just fire, dude.
He was total fire. And this was on the run of Brock Lesnar after beating the streak. So he was so hot, so over. And then you have Cena, who's the Hogan of our generation. So he's in the mix. Then you have Seth Rollins guy who like people weren't fully sold on yet. Some people were accepting him as the one of the top guys, but some people weren't sold on yet. He was still breaking through. So it was like that young stud coming in the mix, and it was just all those dynamics in the match, man. It was like you said, it was a banger.
And last up, favorite match that you've had.
Oh man, it's hard to choose just one, but I did in 2019. I got to do a match in Canada with MCM at this arena called the Leon Center. It was in Kingston, Ontario, and we did a match in front of 2,000 people, and we opened up the show. And I remember Jimmy Mouth of the Heart, Mouth of the South, Jimmy Hart. He opened up the show with like a whole speech. They sung the Canadian national anthem, they sung the American national anthem, and then they introduced MCM first, and MCM came out with the Golden State Warriors jersey. And this was right after the Raptors beat them in the NBA Finals. So he has the Warriors jersey on. He comes out with the American flag. All these Canadians are booing him, and then they bill me from Toronto when I come out there. So people have a great match. MCM did a great job. Getting heat and then I won, and it was crazy because the ring announcer at the time, he had a Toronto Raptors jersey in his car. So he pulled it out during our match, came back, and when I was walking up the ramp, he threw the jersey at me. It was a Vince Carter retro Raptors jersey, and I threw that jersey on, and boom, the place, they got even at that point because they were just, it was like the pride of Toronto, the pride of Canada. So for those few minutes, I felt Canadian, and it was a moment in my young career that I'll never forget.
They have to make you an honorary Canadian now.
Got a ways to go before we get there, but hey, I
Oh
love it.
man, just don't wear any Toronto gear out here because people they will bite your head off. They,
I know you're in the Bay Area,
hey
so
man, I was repping Toronto during that time, and I'm not allowed where the Warriors play
oh
still.
wow, so you're saying that from experience? Don't rep any Toronto stuff.
No, dude, I did it as a joke, and people were not happy. I'm like, okay, all right. But Gio, man, thank you so much. This has been an awesome conversation. I love your in-ring work. I'm glad that I get to commentate your matches on GSW High Voltage. Man, where can the people find you?
So you can find me on Instagram at Gio_Galvano. And you can find me on Twitter now at Gio_official. Spell the official with a 0. And you'll be up to date on everything that's going on in the world of Gio Galvano. Philip, I really appreciate it, man.
Problem, man. Thank you. Follow Gio wherever he said. Global Syndicate Wrestling High Voltage on YouTube. Please check that out. Catalyst is coming up on May 22nd on Fight TV. This has been the Microphone Messiah and the current reigning, defending, undisputed Global Syndicate Wrestling Next Gen Champion.